Hello, my name is Carlos. A lot of people write to me because of my YouTube channel on my website and ask me why don't I use tea budding to graft avocado trees. My replies is this: I've tried them. I'm talking about the tea budding grafting that is used a lot in citrus trees. I've tried it on avocados many times. I've always been unsuccessful. But due to the fact that sometimes when you get budwood, you only get one piece and you want to get the most out of it, or at this time of the year, now we're in the middle of March, that there is really not a lot of the preferred budwood, which is the budwood at the end of a branch and in which the flower buds are beginning to swell. The whole grove is in bloom now. So you have to find alternative methods. So I've done something that is very similar to the budding, except that you don't split the bark and you do it sideways. I call it bud veneer grafting, just with one bud, maybe with two. Sometimes I've used it when I get a piece of the ideal budwood, but I only get one piece. The other side that I cut to use to do the veneer grafting, that other side, if it has one or two buds, I will use them to do this type of grafting that I'm going to walk you through it today. I think it's important to walk you through this step. These are not end branches. These are branches from usually, there's are probably flowers up here, but you could see that bud that is just beginning to wake up. You see that little green tip? This is another good one that I would use. Here, that one is too far out. It's got too much green, fresh green. So is this, but I do like this one very much. It's got like 1/8 of an inch of green beginning to break. This is a little bit dormant, but it's also good. And this is, again, the same thing, too far out. Leaves are pushing like almost 1/4 of an inch. This is just beginning to push out like 1/8 of an inch. This is the one I am going to use. This is going to be a little bit hard for me because I am left-handed, but I left this water shoot on this tree that has already been grafted. So this eventually will be removed. So, but I think you can get a pretty clear picture of what the process is. Now this is the budwood, and we're going to cut the stem a little bit, okay, and then we're going to make a cut here. There we go. Real nice. This is about 1 inch and 1/4. Now we're going to come and take our bud. We're going to cut it in a wedge here. So there you go. Pretty much, except it's pretty much the same as bud grafting, except that this is a flat wedge, and we are just going to put it in here. And on this one, I'm going to use, on this one, we're going to use buddy tape. Is that tape that stretches that you could buy in various places. It's a little expensive, but for this type of grafting, it's really good. So you could really stretch it, as you could see. I'm going to go and secure the whole piece. I'm going to leave the bud for later. I'm going to wrap it around to make sure it seals. I'm going to come around the back, and then as I go towards the end, I'll just do one last pass on the bud, so I could just make sure it stays nice and moist. Okay, there you go. We're going to do another one right up here, and we're going to use the regular plastic tape. We're going to do the other one right in here. First, we'll see. We'll do the cut, which is first a deeper angle, and then you cut the wedge. There we go, perfect. Then we're gonna take this particular bud here. There we go. I try not to touch it with your fingers, just wedge it in there. We're just going to come now with the regular tape, the regular plastic tape, and wrap this up. Here is the same process. You leave the bud for the end. Make sure you wrap it around. You go around, make sure you cover all the area so it'll be as secure, as much waterproof as possible. Very secure. Now we're going to come with a piece of parafilm or body tape and just put it over to preserve the humidity and the freshness of the bud that is beginning to grow. Now we come with a piece of body tape. We decided to use body tape. We stretch it, wrap it around, stretch it, make sure you don't break it, stretch it, and seal it. In 30 days or less, you'll see these buds beginning to push out through the body tape and start growing. Yesterday, when I was in my grove working on the water shoots that I was trying to single bud graft, the sun presented some challenges and it was not very clear. That's why I've decided today, next day, to do it here in my backyard. Take a 1-year-old seedling and experiment with some of the single side grafts, and perhaps you could get a better view of the process. If not, well, then we done it twice in the grove and here with this seedling, and it will give you a better idea anyway of what we are trying to do. First, let's go over some of the budwood that I have selected for today. It will give you a better idea of how to select budwood, and then we'll proceed to bud graft this seedling. I think it's worth some time to talk about picking your budwood. It was kind of difficult to do it with the full sun blasting in the grove yesterday, but I have here a particular piece of budwood. You can see these are flower budwood. All of these are going to be our flower buds that are ready to come out with flowers. All of these can be used for the single bud grafting that I am talking about on this video. Here is another one. This is greener wood, and these clearly are leaf budwoods. This is maybe too far advanced, but this, even though has pushed out about 3/8 of an inch or less, I would try it. I could try it on this one. It seems like it is nice fresh wood, and I would try it with this one. Here it's another piece of budwood, and some of these are flower buds. Okay, now this is the latest flush, and here is the joint of the old flush, and you can see also here there is a lot of little buds that are ready to come up. Here you can see clearly there are some smaller buds that have not begun to push, but they are also usable. This is the last flush here. This is the older flush. You see in the area where these two meet, there are a lot of smaller buds that are in this area, and this is a very useful and productive area. Even if you have enough budwood, you can cut here and you can cut here. You can put parafilm here and do a side veneer graft with this, and I assure you there is going to be very productive growth from this area here in particular. Here we have some other type of buds. These are leaves that can be used. This is a smaller branch. You see almost this is the leaf stem, and this is like a dormant bud that will be good to use too, and so is this. Naturally, if you have enough of these, you could probably just side graft along this, cut along this, wrap this with parafilm or without it, and graft this whole thing. But we are concentrating in doing single bud grafts on this video. So this is the material that I like to use. If you have a smaller, a thin branch or of a seedling, I would use this one, cut this one. Again, this would be excellent. If I had plenty of these, I could use this whole thing and cut it in here and probably have an extra bud. Once I cut the side to veneer graft, I could probably do single bud with these here. So this gives you an overall view of what it entails. There we go. You already have the bud here cut. There. Of buddy tape, which is actually nice for this. It takes a little bit getting used to it. It stretch it as much as possible so you can make a tight wrap. There you go. Make sure it's tight. Stretch. I made too large of an incision here, cut, so I'm going to protect it as well. You see, I'm leaving the bud without coverage so far, and then towards the end, like now, I'm going to come back, put a very thin coat of the there we go, thin coat to protect it from dehydrating. So it's done.